Hi everyone, I'm Paige Abbott, and this is your recovery message for the week of October 30th, 2016. In the last few weeks, we've had quite a few family members and loved ones reaching out to us, inquiring about help and support for their loved one. So whether that's a child, a spouse, a niece, whoever. And I just thought that this would be an interesting topic for the weekly recovery message, because I think this is a topic that's relevant to everybody, because we've all been impacted by somebody who's struggling at one point or another. And usually that's someone that we care about. And I find that when that's happening, if we're vulnerable to wanting to control or fix a situation, then that can put us in risky territory where we're trying to do things that we think are helpful, but that actually do not serve the other person or ourselves. What I mean by that is often people will think that they're being helpful and supportive of a loved one when they're engaging in activities or behaviors that really are more control than they are support. So examples of controlling behaviors that people think are supportive are things like policing, monitoring the activity of a loved one, signing them up or booking them in for appointments or resource groups or things like that without that person's consent or maybe even knowledge. Begging, pleading, shaming, questioning, how are you doing? What are you doing? Have you tried this? Are you going to do that? All of these things, while they may feel like you're doing something to help or fix the situation, usually they only make things worse, because the person on the receiving end of that quote-unquote help often feels very judged, shamed. They may not be quite ready to take those steps necessary to get better. So my feedback to you, in order to truly be a support and a resource person, the two best things that you can do is, one, just share your feelings, share your concerns, share your observations. So keep it more on, obviously, a sharing level where you're just expressing what is going on from your perspective. So for example, I'm feeling quite concerned that I'm seeing you play hours and hours of video games, you've lost your job recently, you're not able to participate in school. That concerns me, and I'm wondering how you're feeling about that. Try to engage them in those feeling conversations to just hear their perspective and get them opening up and sharing with you. They may not engage at that moment, and that's okay, but as long as the door is open to those feelings-based process conversations, that is usually one of the most helpful things that you can offer family members and loved ones. The second biggest thing, and this is something we forget about all the time, is that your own health, recovery, and self-care is actually the best gift and the best way that you can help your loved one. Again, to explain a little bit more what I mean by that, if you start to look after yourself differently, if you engage in psychosocial, spiritual recovery, so you look after your physical health, your emotional health, your social health, and your spiritual health, that actually does have a spillover effect that your family member or loved one may start looking at you and going, I kind of like what I'm seeing in them. That's something that I wish I could have for myself. Sometimes that provides the extra incentive and motivation for your loved one to start doing something different for themselves. But if you're there directly saying, you should do this, you need to do that, I found this helpful, you need to try it, that's what will just serve to push them further away. So again, if you're truly looking to be supportive of a loved one, the two best things to do are just open up an open-ended dialogue about where they're at, how they're feeling, and likewise sharing the same for yourself. And the second is to please look at your own health and well-being and recovery before you turn the spotlight onto them. We all have things that we can improve in terms of looking after ourselves, and that is truly the best place to start. Because if we're looking at the idea of control, we have no control over other people. The only thing that we have even a semblance of control over is ourselves and our own activities and behavior. So I hope that you'll keep that in mind, and you'd be surprised that when you can back away and focus on yourself a little bit more, it'll be interesting to see what you notice in your family members and loved ones. So that's my perspective for this week. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to share these videos with anyone who might be interested. That's all for me. Best of luck in your ongoing recovery for the week, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye for now.